And we're live. For anybody that might watch this, this is just a test. I've been working for really months trying to get my live stream to work with my internet. And I think I might have something going here. And we have some people popping into the chat. Hello, Micah. And is that Alexandre? Is that right? Alexandre? We're going to let this run for just a little while just to see if my internet can keep up over the course of time. What has tended to happen in the past is I'll start a live stream and 3 or 4 minutes in, all of a sudden my stream quality will drop because of fluctuations in my internet. I live just about a half mile outside of our small town, which means that I've got the fastest internet speed that's available to me, and it is not very fast. So I have all kinds of issues there. And I've been trying to get this going, the live stream thing, for almost a year. And, I wanted to be able to do a full-fledged live stream using OBS and be able to use my regular title sequence and stuff like that. And that's just not in the cards with my internet speed. But this may work. So you all let me know. Hey, Corey, KRP Models, good to see you. Indian Head Valley Railroad. Looks good on my end. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see if it keeps up for a while. Happened to have the day off today and was working on some scripting, some planning for some videos down the road. I'm going to be out of town a couple of weeks over the course of the summer, so I'm trying to get ahead a little bit so that, hey, New Haven Rails, hey, how you doing there? Trying to get a few things ahead so that I've got some stuff in the can already uploaded. Going to be out of town, not next week, but the following week. I'm going to Puerto Rico for a week to help do some rebuilding after the hurricane damage from last year. And of course, later in the summer, I'm going to be going to the NMRA National Convention for a week up the road in Kansas City. And so just trying to get a little ahead on some stuff. And while I was here, I was taking a little break and thought, I'm going to try this live stream thing one more time. Hey, Randall, I can relate to slow internet speeds. Yeah, it stinks, doesn't it? It really is the pits. Picture is perfect. That's what I want to hear. That's what I like to hear. This may be the only way. YouTube has changed some things about how it does its live streaming. It's got this new, basically one-click live stream. And hey, Joe, how are you? How are things in South Africa? Good to see you from the other side of the other end of the planet. But it seems like with this new method or phase that they have in their live streaming function, it seems to work a little better with those of us who have lower speed internet. I'm actually streaming this at 720p at the moment, and a year ago, that wasn't even remotely a possibility for me. This isn't going to make any sense to y'all who are watching me on the live stream, but hey, Noah, come here a second. I want to show you something. Look out on the porch. Look out on the porch.
Oh.
Sorry, we just got visited by a terrapin. I was showing my son, who happens to be playing video games on the other side of the room. So let's see. I'm just trying to catch up with what little is going on in the chat. Just saw your notification. Yeah, Joe Roderick, this wasn't necessarily planned. I'm literally just testing my live stream. But hopefully, if we can get this to work and get consistent, decent, workable picture out, I'd like to start doing a good live stream. I'd like to do a good live stream once a month. I know there's some guys that are live streaming weekly. I don't have time to live stream weekly, and I want to do a different kind of live stream than they're doing. I want to do something where I present something on a topic to begin with, that also take some interaction and some questions and that sort of thing. But I want it to be the type of live stream that then also makes a decent quality video for people to watch if they watch it after the fact. So that's what I want to try to do. And my goal has been to do that about once a month. So if this keeps going, and again, we've been going about 5 minutes now, and y'all tell me, has there been any drop in the quality of the picture or the sound through the course of these few minutes that you've been watching? Because that's what I'm really watching for. I haven't been able to see that it's had any problems from here. Micah, no, not at all. That is really good news. I am glad to hear that. You just made my day. So if this works, maybe sometime over the course of the next 3 or 4 weeks, we may actually start announced live streams on a schedule. Trying to look because this 41 people. If I 40 people watching right now. Hey, did everybody see the announcement about my 10,000 subscriber giveaway? If you didn't, go back and watch my most recent video, the one on ground goop. In the closing of that video, I made an announcement about how you can enter, and it's good for $100 gift certificate. So it's a worthwhile prize. But you got to go watch that so you can know how to enter and win a $100 gift certificate to Midwest Model Railroad. My good friend Stephen and that great shop up in Kansas City. For those of you who had ordered t-shirts and coffee mugs, those are going out this week. I also announced that in that last video. I had a terrible delay in my t-shirt production. I use a local vendor who has always been great. They make great shirts. They've been really, really good to work with. But about the time I ordered the shirts for those who had ordered them from me, she had just gotten an order to do the t-shirt uniform tops for every baseball and softball team on our city's summer league. And that's a lot of t-shirts for a small vendor, for a single person. So that put her way behind. That put me way behind. But I have them now. So those have been invoiced, and they're going to be going out. T-shirts and coffee mugs. And if you're interested, I still have some coffee mugs available. I have a few extra t-shirts. I don't have very many, but I might just happen to have your size if you're interested. Coffee mugs, t-shirts, both are $18 a piece with free shipping inside the 48 contiguous states. And I really didn't intend to turn this into a sales pitch, but if you're interested, there it is. Oh, so what's everybody had to say here? Not much lag. Great sound and picture. That's good. Sorry, I have to get back to work. Hey, I totally understand, Stephen. Thanks for jumping in. I know I'm literally doing this in the middle of the day on a Monday, but hey, what better thing to do on a Monday than to take 8.5 minutes and watch some guy in a red shirt ramble on because he's trying to test his video stream. Hey, Bruce Giroux, good to see you. Kevin Waters. Ron Gibson, not to Canada. I will on the t-shirts. I will ship the t-shirt to Canada, but I probably have to charge a little extra shipping on the t-shirt to Canada. The coffee mugs, I'm scared to death with those. In order to get those packed in such a way that I know they won't break, it just costs more to ship it than I think most people would be willing to pay for a coffee mug. If you desperately want a coffee mug, I would ship one to Canada, but I would have to charge the extra shipping, and I have a feeling it's going to be more than most people will want to spend on a coffee cup. That's the whole reason I said that. In the future, if I do this again, I'm going to do what a lot of guys on YouTube and other places do. I'm going to sign up with one of those vendors online where you can order them and they will drop ship it to you, and and they send me $1 for the t-shirt or whatever, because this has turned out to be really a larger undertaking than I expected. Hey, Joe, information on JMRI helped out. I'm glad to hear that. I'm not a JMRI expert, but I really do like Decoder Pro. for programming my locomotives and for speed matching my locomotives. And I'm going to be doing a video sometime this summer on speed matching locomotives using JMRI and Dakota Pro. So Joe Roderick, you could look at Great Bubble for worldwide. Thanks, Joe. I'll check that out. Excuse me. I've been checking a couple of different sources, just trying to figure out what it looks like will do the most reasonable job, do a good job for it, and be the most cost effective. So I'll check out Gear. I said that wrong. I said Great Bubble, Gear Bubble. I'll check that out, Joe. Thanks. Hey, Mike. It's a great thing to kill the time and getting my wife into the hobby. That's good news. If you figure out how to do that successfully, you tell me, because my wife has been pretty supportive and understanding of the YouTube channel and various things, but I cannot say that she's ever shown much interest in the hobby itself. She tolerates it. I would say more than anything else, as far as my wife is concerned. Aaron Wright, my Bachmann DCC set arrived today, and intro books to model railroading. All right, that's exciting. Let us know how that goes. I'm curious, which intro books to model railroading did you order, Aaron? I'm curious to know what you're going to be reading. James just got the ESU cab control. I've been considering upgrading to ESU. I've had my MRC Prodigy. Prodigy. I bought the Prodigy Advance when it first came out, like 15, 16, 17 years ago. And then when they came out with the wireless conversion, I converted to wireless. And then I had my unit sent in and had the software upgraded to Advanced Squared. There's a new version of Advanced Squared that's newer than the one I have on mine, and I've thought about sending it in and having the software upgraded again, just to allow it to communicate a little better with JMRI and Dakota Pro. I haven't done that yet, but I've been pretty happy with my MRC system, but I think there is a lot more capability in some areas with ESU, and so I have really considered upgrading, with replacing this system with an ESU. I just haven't come to drop, those few $100s that it would take to get, because right now I've got an all wireless system, and I love that. And so to go with an ESU, to get the number of cabs that I need to run my layout and to have a wireless system, it would not be an inexpensive proposition. So I just haven't gotten there, but I'm still thinking about that. Micah, am I eventually going to see Duratrax? I'm not sure what Duratrax is off the top of my head. Help me out there, Micah. What is Duratrax? Should I? That's probably something I should know the answer to, and I'm going to say duh when I find out. Sorry, I know everything went quiet there for a minute. I was checking into that. System that runs your track automatically with a computer. Yeah, I'm seeing that now on Google. I'm going to say probably not. It's probably not something that I'm going to be looking towards. I'm kind of an operations guy, and so really the human interaction with the simulation of the trains and in the operating. Hey, Vinny, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm just playing with this live stream thing, Vinny, and I think I might finally have something going here. It's only taken me a year to get that to really work with my internet, but anyway, finish what I was saying. you know, I'm really into the operations. I'm into that interaction. So, you know, the idea of just running them with the computer, not really of interest to me. Now, using like a tablet or a phone for a controller, that's a whole different thing. That's kind of interesting to me. And I'm playing a little bit with the DCC++ system with an Arduino to power a little switching layout that I'm in the process of building that you all haven't really seen yet, but you will. And so, you know, maybe using phones for controllers for that, but that's probably about as close as I'm gonna get. Can I make a war model, Alexander? I've never really been into the military modeling up to this point. I think it's interesting. I think it's really cool. I enjoy watching some videos about that, but I've never really done that. And as much as I would love to do that, my time is really so eaten up now. But between a full-time job, making these videos, you know, right now I'm trying to get an article written for Modeler's Journal. I just got a lot of irons in the fire, so you know I'm trying to keep up with the model railroad as it is. So probably a venture into military modeling probably won't happen for me, at least not until I retire, and I'm a few years from that yet. Can I make a 101 scratch building tutorial? Hey Alexander, yeah, you know I'm kind of overdue for a scratch building video anyway. And I've got a scratch building project that I have in the planning stages. I've built a mock-up for it. And so sometime in the not too distant future, I'm going to be doing probably a series, maybe 2 or 3 videos as I build that. And I try to really explain what I do step by step when I do those scratch building videos. So hopefully that will fit the bill for you as far as scratch building, kind of a scratch building 101. For some basics before you do a lot of scratch building, you might go back and check some of my videos from about a year ago where I did some about drawing plans, about using photographs to make plans for scratch building or for kit bashing. And you know, using those photographs and some known dimensions in order to get your correct dimensions and some of those things which are important before you start scratch building. You might check those out if you haven't seen those. David Muse, how long have you been working on your layout, and what have been some of the ups and downs with the layout? That is a good question. David, I actually started this layout let's see, this is 2018. I actually started this layout about 6 years ago. Now that sounds discouraging because I got a long way to go. I started it about 6 years ago. It took me about a year to build all of the bench work, to get the lighting installed, the backdrops up and painted, the fascia, the valance in front of the lighting, the staging yard built. I did all of that kind of bench work stuff in about a year. Built the helix. And then about another year to lay most of the track, the main line, the north yard, all of those. So after about 2 years, I had basically a functional layout with virtually no scenery. And then I had just a bit of a personal issue, personal crisis that literally happened at one point. And at that point, I set down what I was doing and walked away and didn't touch the layout once for a little over 2 years. So I started working on it 6 years ago, but there was probably closer to 2.5 years where I did just absolutely nothing. It just sat. And then I've been back at it here for a couple of years, and you can see some progress is being made. In the last couple of years, I've done all of like the scenic forms that you see behind me here, all of those mountains, all of the building of that with the scenery that I have over here that you see quite a bit. What's around on the other end of the peninsula, sometimes you see also all of that mountain scenery. Built several structures. I've gotten a lot accomplished. The videos for the channel both help and hurt that progress. They help me in progress, you know, in certain areas as I'm making videos, but also it takes a certain amount of time that I could otherwise maybe be spending building the layout. But That's a long answer to a simple question, but I've been working on it about 6 years, but really I've spent about 4 years really working on it. Would have been the ups and downs. The ups are when things go well and I make progress, and the downs are when they don't. um, you know, I'm the kind of person who usually will have 5 or 6 projects going at once for several reasons, but one of the reasons is I get bored. You know, I'll work on a project and I just get bored with it. So I'll set it down and I'll go work on something else for a while. And I may come back in a week, or I may come back in a month. I may come back in a year. It just depends. But, you know, it's a hobby. So I give myself permission to do that. I want to do what seems fun and relaxing at the time. The down right now, if there's one thing that's holding me up right now, this area back here that you have seen for a year, where I've got all these great mountains with no trees on them. Hey, Eric, how you doing, man? I think I finally got this live stream thing figured out. We're testing it here. But these mountains, I want to put trees on those. I want to scenic those. I intentionally, you can see here, I've made them where they're kind of layered. There's a mountain here that's actually physically sticks out in front of another mountain back here. But because of the way they're built on the narrow shelf, they're very, very steep. And I haven't completely figured out just how I'm going to plant trees and do other scenery on that. So that's been kind of a mental block. And that's my biggest struggle and holdup right now. 51 people watching. That's just awesome. This was totally unannounced. In fact, I didn't even plan it myself. I just decided I was going to try this again. But using this fairly new feature in YouTube, this kind of one-click live streaming. Hey, Dwight, how you doing? This one-click live streaming seems to work better with my slow internet than anything that I've tried before. It doesn't do all that I wanted to do in a live stream, but I've been going for 20 minutes, and I have yet to see somebody say, hey, you're going digital, or the picture or the sound has gotten really bad. I'm going to be interested to go back and look at the playback to see what I think of the quality, because I know I'm my own worst critic. But so far, it looks like it's kept a pretty quality stream. Had a cell notification that I was doing a live stream. Hey, silly Westies. Yeah, this was totally unplanned. And I'm just on here rambling to test my live stream. So far, it looks like it's doing pretty well. My chat kind of flashes on and off once in a while. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Trying to catch up with some of the chat here. A little pixelation, Bruce says, and color shift here, but not bad. That's good. I'll be interested to check that out. Ron Gibson, you're a video star. You stick around. You keep saying that, Ron. You make me feel good about myself. Well, hey, this is a good chance maybe to make a couple of announcements, totally off the cuff, of some things that are going to be coming up with me. First of all, and I don't know if I've mentioned this on the channel before or not, but I was approached several months ago by Model Railroad Academy about making some videos for them. Some video classes that would be part of their subscription service. And the first one of those video classes, that's what I'm working on today. I'm finishing up. The video is all done. It's all uploaded. There's a little bit of written work that goes with that I'm trying to finish up today. But that's going to be coming out and available through Model Railroad Academy really soon. I'll, of course, make announcements about that on my video. And they've also are allowing me to serve as an affiliate, which means hopefully I should have a discount code that you can get off my channel that I'll have in my description if those are of interest to you. I also got an email this weekend from Lionel Strang of A Modeler's Life, and looks like I'm going to be doing an interview and appearing on the Modeler's Life podcast. If y'all are fans of that, or if you listen to their podcast, I don't know when that's going to be yet. Just got that invitation a couple of days ago, and we're still working out all those details. But those are some things coming up. Orange shirt's causing a bit of noise. It must be causing a problem because it's not orange. I usually wear a lot of orange, but this is actually red, so I may need to work on my my color a little bit. Bit of noise in the video, but not bad at all. And I'm just using the microphone on my webcam. If I did this, I'll listen to it. But if I do this for real, I'll probably use my lavalier mic. That usually picks up the best. But I'll listen to that. Thanks. You'll be a new Ken Patterson. I'm not going to touch that, Eric. I'm just going to leave that alone completely. Just need a crew. That's what I need. I need a crew. I need a crew who will work for free because I can't afford to pay a crew. But I need a crew. You're right about that. I thought about doing my own podcast. I haven't thought about doing a podcast just because the keeping up with the videos on my channel is about all I can handle. I've got so many irons in the fire now, but again, I'm testing this because for a year or more, I've wanted to do a monthly live stream, which would kind of be like my version of a podcast, I guess. And if I can get this to really work at a quality that I am happy with, then sometime, probably maybe July. I don't want to make promises there that I don't hold to, but maybe July, I'll start doing a monthly podcast, or not a podcast, monthly live stream. And if you weren't on earlier when I was talking about that, my idea, my desire is to do a live stream where I would have a topic to begin with and talk a little bit about a topic and take questions on topic or off topic, and respond to comments in the chat as well for about an hour or so. That's kind of what I want to do. I know, Vinny's, on here, he's been doing a live stream on Friday nights, doing a variety of things, but he's doing some scratch building. He did scratch building class on a live stream, which was really cool. He's doing some neat stuff. Sparky 107, of course, been doing his Wednesday night live streams. Unfortunately, I watch those after the fact because Wednesday nights I always work, and Friday nights I tend to be somewhere not at a computer, Vinny, but usually try to catch those after the fact. But so those guys are doing those things. I want to do something that's a little bit different, and so that's my desire. And again, I've been on here almost 28 minutes, and I'm going to go back and watch this. And if this quality is up to my standards, and that's what I've got to live with, then we may finally have something going here. Hey, Nathan, how you doing today? What did the layout look like when I first started building? I was just looking at some pictures today. And I don't know if I can show you this or not because they're on my phone. But literally, my layout shares space with my family's family room in our basement. So it kind of goes along one side, and it's kind of L-shaped. It's really more Z-shaped because it goes along a wall here, and then it goes back along a wall, and then along a wall a little ways over towards the television area. It's got this little short peninsula, which is what you see right behind me here. This is a peninsula that ends just about right beside me here and wraps back around. But if I can find it quickly, and if you can see it, I'll just show you just a picture or two of say stages. Let me see if I can do this fast because y'all don't want to just watch me scrolling around on my phone. Here we go. Oh, and my phone is so slow. I'm trying to keep up with this. I think you're about 360i to 480i in quality, maybe around 15 frames per second. think it's good for live streaming. My whole thing is I want it to be good enough that if somebody came back to watch it later, they wouldn't think, oh my gosh, I'm going to turn this off because I can't stand it. You know, I want a live stream, but I also want the playback video to be of quality. Finally had the circle of doom. Oh no. Tell us about the helix shown in your operating scenes. I'm going to do a video. I've been trying to collect some pictures from when I built the helix, because that was way before I was doing videos. I'm trying to collect some pictures where I can do a video about how I built that helix. But the pictures of building it that I have really don't look much different than it now, because it's literally out in the open. Everything looks good. Thanks, Joe. I don't think I can do it until I upgrade my line. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. Vinny says I'm buffering now. Well, if I've gone 30 minutes until I started buffering, that is a huge improvement. Hey, Sparky, how you doing? This was a totally impromptu live stream test that's turned into a conversation. And for whatever stupid reason, I was going to show these pictures and I can't get it to come up on my phone. I may have to do that on a video. David says I'm not buffering there. It may be a matter of other people's internet some too. No one expects lives to be perfect. But Joe, I watch Nick Nimmons every week and his are always perfect. So, not that bad. I'd be rather happy with it. Good, Eric. Thanks. I appreciate that. Bruce, just lost the entire stream. That's not good. Gone, baby, gone. You are. Just lost you. Black screen. Can you still hear me? Interrupted stream. Just lost you. If you can hear me, somebody tell me so. I may be gone. Silly Westie says no buffering on her cell phone. That's good. Refreshed and back on for a few seconds, then off. It looks like I might have a limit of about 30 minutes. Well, for some folks, Sparky says I'm still going there. Of course, Sparky just jumped in pretty recently, so that may make a difference too. Ha 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 ha. All right, I'm going to check this out one more time just to see if I get my silly phone to work. Vinny just lost the stream. I wonder if it's a problem on my end then. Totally. Yeah, the numbers that are still in here have dropped. I had 50 at one time. I'm down to like 24. Of course, that may be people that jumped in and have jumped out. Maybe some people who've lost it. Okay, well, this is, we've been going impromptu for about a little over half an hour here, so I'm probably going to jump off for now. I'm going to go back and watch this, like I said earlier, and if this quality, at least for 30 minutes, is pretty decent, then you can watch for some announcements, and sometime in July, might be starting a monthly live stream. It's been a dream of mine ever since I started the channel, so I'm excited about the prospect of doing that. So anyway, thanks guys for jumping in and for your comments and such, and for your help in testing the live stream. And we will see you on my next video on Tuesday. Hope you check it out. Y'all have a great day.